All right. I I just finished filming this video that you're going to see, and I'm editing it, and I'm realizing that something glitched in the recording, and there's a delay between the audio and the visual. So, or the audio and the visual? Is that video? I don't know. There's a delay. I thought about re-recording the whole thing, but honestly, I don't have time. So, I'm sorry for that. There is a delay in the audio, but you can still hear me clearly. It's just like, a second or two behind when I say it. So it looks like I have one of those horrible, voiceovers going on because it's not in line with what I'm saying. But you can still hear me, so I'm going to keep it as is. So overlook that. Sorry, guys. Just a little technology glitch. But here's the video. Well, it has been a little bit since I've recorded anything. I did not plan this break, but life sometimes goes differently than you expect. So I'm here today. It is January the 6th, and I'm going to give you an update on everything that's been going on. So the last video that I posted was my daughter's birthday. So that would have been December the 18th. It was her birthday vlog and the surprise of having her friend over. It was wonderful. So I posted that, and I had so many other plans that week. But the next day, December the 19th, it's like everything just happened. And, let me first preface this by saying that we are so blessed. There are so many worse, awful situations in life that don't even compare to the stuff that we went through. But that doesn't make what we went through any less hard or real for us. So I'll just say that because I know a lot of people might listen to what I have to say and say, oh, that's no big deal. And, count your blessings. And I agree. I'm counting all my blessings. And I'm so thankful that we got through these couple of weeks. But they were hard. There was a lot of things. So December the 19th was a Tuesday. And that morning, that night overnight, so the night of the 18th overnight, we had a crazy windstorm here. It was like a hurricane, to be honest. It wasn't forecasted as a hurricane, but the winds were definitely hurricane strength. And that is not usual for December in our climate. Our hurricane season is usually like late summer, early fall. So that was not expected. So we didn't really expect that it would be what it was. And so we weren't exactly prepared either. However, what ended up happening, here goes my dog. What ended up happening, I don't even think we could have prepared for anyway. So it was super windy overnight, and we just, obviously hoped that nothing crazy happened. We did lose power, but that's not a huge deal. Tuesday morning, we woke up, and I went outside to do the chickens like I always do. Here comes my dog again. And when I went outside to do the chickens, I noticed that our swing set had been, so the wind picked it up out of the ground, moved it, like threw it a few feet over and smashed it on the lawn. So our entire swing set for the kids, the wind had literally uprooted it. It was, staked into the ground, lifted it, blew it a few feet across the yard, and it landed and it smashed. I was like, I was shocked. I did not think the winds were that strong that night. So that's the first thing that I noticed that happened. Then I noticed that our chimney cap blew off. So the wind took that off. Thankfully, we found it. And the guy came to put it back on, and he was so sweet. He didn't even charge us. He just said Merry Christmas and left. Like, that was such a blessing, such an answer to prayer. But the chimney cap blew off. We have a really nice weather vane on our garage, snapped. All my trellises in my garden broke, smashed. And on top of that, we discovered that morning that one of Rebecca's other guinea pigs. So Rebecca just lost a guinea pig earlier in December 10th, I believe it was, 9th or 10th. And I did share about that on here. I can link that video. And that video had a happy ending where she ended up getting a new guinea pig. Well, not the newest guinea pig, but the one that was left after the first one passed away. The morning after the windstorm, we went out and this guinea pig was dead. So it was just a disastrous morning. That was Tuesday morning, the 19th. We were really stressed. We just weren't expecting any of this. You know, it's a week before Christmas. And so that was tough. But, you know, like perspective, we were like, you know what? Like it's all sad and awful, but at least our roof didn't blow off or we didn't lose half of our siding. You know, it is a swing set. It was disappointing for the children, but it could have been worse, right? So anyway, that afternoon, I went with Rebecca into the city and we met up with some homeschool friends to go caroling. While we were there, Rebecca started to feel really unwell and really lightheaded and dizzy. And so we ended up coming home. Now, Bennett was supposed to go with us. He was supposed to come caroling, but he, on Tuesday morning when he woke up, started to not feel well. He started to feel like he had a cold. It wasn't anything serious, so we thought. And so he stayed home with John that day. I took Rebecca, but when we were caroling, she ended up not feeling well, so we left and we came home early. So anyway, that night, John and I, every year we do a wrapping night where we stay up really late and we try to wrap as many gifts as we can all in one night. So we did that night. And therefore, I didn't get to bed until late. Normally, I'm in bed between 9:30 and 10 every night, but I didn't get to bed until probably close to midnight by the time I fell asleep. Anyway, so we went to bed, and maybe an hour later, around 1 a.m, Bennett woke me up in the middle of the night. He came into our room and he woke me up crying, saying he was in a lot of pain. And it was very unusual. So we called. There's like a number you can call here where you can get a hold of a nurse. So we called that number and spoke to the nurse, and she told us to take him right into the emergency room based on his symptoms and what he was feeling. So John and I discussed it. We decided that he would stay home with Rebecca because Rebecca was sleeping. We didn't want to wake her up or worry her. And so I took Bennett and I took him into the emergency room. So that would have been between 1:30 and 2 in the morning on what now would have been December the 20th, or the early morning hours of Wednesday, December the 20th. So I took Bennett into the emergency room and they checked him out and they told us that he had an infection. I won't go into too many details, just, you know, some of it's just, I just don't need to explain all the details to everybody, but he had an infection, a pretty bad infection. And so the doctors prescribed him some antibiotics. So we thought, okay, we can handle this, not the end of the world. Well, we brought him home and I brought him home. He went back to sleep for a little bit, got up. And when he got up, he was way, way worse, significantly worse. He was in so much pain. He was just there, like it was, without giving too many personal details, it was awful. I have never seen this in my life. And we were very concerned. One of my best friends, she's a nurse. I called her. I was talking to her on the phone and she told me we should take him back in because what he was experiencing may have been a medical emergency that needed to be dealt with. So at this point, I was wrecked. I mean, I was exhausted from no sleep, but I was just mentally and emotionally wrecked. Just, you know, when you're a parent and there's something wrong with your child, it's terrifying. It really is. I think it's every parent's worst nightmare. So I took him back in that afternoon, the Wednesday afternoon. We were there a lot longer. And thankfully, we had some incredible doctors there at the emergency room. And one of them, he was a specialist, and he basically gave us two options. One was to continue with antibiotics and also like Epsom salts, because Epsom salts can really help draw infection out of the body. It can really help when you have stuff going on. So he said like giving him frequent Epsom salt baths just to help draw things out of his body. That could, he said that's a good option and that you could do that. The other option would be a surgical procedure. So anyway, I was there, by myself with Bennett. I had to call my husband. We discussed it. We decided to go ahead with just the antibiotics and the Epsom salts. We thought, if that works and we start to see some improvement, we would rather avoid any sort of surgical procedure, like he'd have to be put under and if we have to do that, we would do it. But obviously we would rather something less invasive. He's 6 years old. So anyway, that's what we decided. So, we brought him home basically under strict orders to just watch him very, very, very closely. And if anything got worse, even like a smidge, we would have to bring him back in and they would have to do the procedure. So I was so stressed. I said to my mother recently that I actually currently kind of feel like I have a little bit of PTSD from that week, even though, again, I don't want to use that term lightly because I know people have PTSD from things that are much more severe. But the feeling of every second of every day fearing that it would be worse, that he was going to get worse, and then we'd have to take him back in and he'd have to go through surgery and all this. The stress of that and trying to be strong for him and for our daughter, and it's the week before Christmas, and trying to just keep it all together. I feel like at any moment I can cry. In fact, I kind of feel like I'm going to cry right now. Just thinking about it, it was a horrible week. It was a horrible experience to watch my son go through that. Thankfully, thank God, we prayed and we prayed and we prayed, and the antibiotics and the Epsom salts worked. It took a few days, but over those few days, nothing got worse. It just kind of stayed the same, and then things started to slowly improve. So around day 5 of his antibiotics, it was a 7-day course of antibiotics. Around day 5 is when he started to feel more like himself again. But his body was exhausted, from fighting this infection and from the medication. And during all this, our daughter was on and off unwell, nothing serious, just some, viral cold stuff. But, it was a really, really, really hard week. So Christmas Eve was day, 5. Yeah, Christmas Eve was day 5 for him of his antibiotics. And other than being abnormally sleepy, he was doing pretty good. By that point, a lot of the pain had subsided. And so we went to my mom's for Christmas Eve in the afternoon, which we always do. It's tradition. Normally we have everybody over here Christmas Day, and I cook Christmas dinner and I do the whole thing for everybody. And I love that. I love hosting. This year, I remember it was the middle of the night, a couple days before Christmas, and I was laying in bed awake, and I sent my mom a voice message, and I said, "Mom, I haven't even made a grocery list for Christmas dinner. I have no, when am I going to do this?" I was laying there stressing. I was thinking about all the laundry that had to be done and the groceries I had to buy, and when am I going to make the pies, and when am I going to, because I was so consumed. I was literally by Bennett's side. Unless he was sleeping, I was beside him every second of the day during this because I had to monitor him so closely. And my mom and my mother-in-law really came to the rescue. They, unbeknownst to me, by that point had already worked out a plan. They took over Christmas dinner. Everybody still came here, which is what we want. We like that. But, short of my husband and I just, putting the turkey in the oven Christmas morning, my mom and my mother-in-law did everything. My mother-in-law, she comes and stays with us Christmas Eve overnight into Christmas Day. She took care of making sure all the vegetables were peeled and chopped. She was so helpful to me here in the kitchen, emptying the dishwasher, cleaning things up for me, just basically doing the things I needed to get done that I couldn't, because at that point I was absolutely exhausted and run down. My mom prepped, she cooked the pies or baked the pies at her house, prepped one of the dishes, brought it. Like they just did it. They took care of us, and I'm so thankful for supportive family. They brought us groceries. They did laundry. My mother-in-law took our daughter out a couple days before Christmas because she still had to get. My daughter still had some Christmas presents that she wanted to get for family, and John and I just didn't have the time to take her out. We couldn't take Bennett out, and they handled everything, and I am so thankful for family that is there for us and supportive. And yeah, so come Christmas Day, health-wise, we were all well. However, I was completely run down, and honestly, I think still a little bit in shock from everything we dealt with from the week. So I ended up getting sick, of course, as you can hear. I'm still coughing a little bit. But, you know, my sickness was basically just a result of me being run down and exhausted, and my immune system being weak because of it. So I ended up with a really bad cold, but it lingered. It turned into some nausea and headaches and all this stuff, but just mostly it was exhaustion. And for a few days after Christmas, I slept like uncharacteristically long for me. I mean, I was going to bed at like 6 o'clock at night and sleeping till 8 in the morning. Like I was exhausted. But I am on the mend now. So that took us through until a few days after Christmas, well, between Christmas and New Year's. And my daughter, she ended up developing a really bad cough after Christmas, just as a result of the cold that she had. And my husband amazingly stayed healthy and well, which I think is a blessing, because somebody had to be healthy here. Somebody had to be strong and well. And he was, and he was so helpful to me. I was able to rest, and he took care of things. It was just, again, I'm so, so thankful for a supportive family. So that was that. And then, we got through New Year's. I meant to film between Christmas and New Year's. There was all these things. I was going to do videos of me taking down the Christmas decorations. But honestly, I have been so tired. I finally got stuff taken down yesterday, and I thought about turning on the camera, but it would have just slowed me down. And I had to just do it while the motivation hit. You know, sometimes you got to just get on that wheel once it starts turning and just go with it. And so that was me yesterday. I just went at it and got as much done as I could. I still have some things to accomplish today, but I wanted to sit down and just film this video and give you guys a quick update. The last little bit of sad news is that yesterday, in fact, as I'm saying this in the camera, I'm realizing I haven't even told my mom this yet. Sorry, Mom. I tell my mom everything, and it slipped my mind because there's just been so much going on. So yesterday, my daughter's newest guinea pig, the one that we just got as a companion for the first one that passed away, died. She went outside and this guinea pig was dead. And so that is 3 guinea pigs in the course of a month, not even a month. And so my daughter was so upset. I don't know. I said, sweetie, I don't understand it. I don't know what is going on. I don't know if there was some sort of like a bacteria or something being passed from guinea pig to guinea pig. If it was just the cold weather. I mean, these guinea pigs, yes, they're outside, but they're very sheltered. They're in a little hutch with tons of straw, within little hutches, even within a covered enclosure. I mean, it's not like they're just outside in a cage. Like they're very, very sheltered. And the woman that we had gotten them from, I mean, she keeps her guinea pigs outside. So I don't know. But I said to Rebecca, I said, you know what, sweetheart, let's just close the guinea pig chapter for now. you have your bunnies. The bunnies are healthy. They do really good in the winter. They've got their full winter coat of fur. And they have, you know, again, they have a fully enclosed hutch that they can go into with lots of bedding and straw and whatnot. So they're fine. I said, let's just not do any more guinea pigs. It doesn't seem to be working out for us right now. The guinea pigs she had were fantastic and healthy and well all through spring, summer, and fall, but I don't know what's been going on. So she agreed. We'll just kind of close that chapter for now. She'll continue on with her bunnies, and maybe we'll look at guinea pigs again in the future, but I don't know. And yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that, other than maybe we're just not meant to have guinea pigs. I don't know. Anyway, so that has been my life for the last couple of weeks. It's been hard. Like I say, I'm well aware that we are blessed, and I am so thankful that nothing that happened was life altering for us, you know, but it was definitely hard and unexpected, and you just never know what every day is going to bring. So tomorrow, Wednesday, today is January, did I say today was January 3rd? I may have said that earlier. Today's January 2nd. Tomorrow is January 3rd. Tomorrow, we start back at our school routine. So this afternoon, I have some organizing to do with our school stuff, and I just need to tidy up the school shelf and kind of get my head in the game for tomorrow. We're gonna have a slow start. I mean, I don't expect my kids to just go from being in Christmas mode, sick mode, to like full-fledged school mode in a day. I'm going to ease them back in, which is why I'm purposely starting midweek. We'll just do a couple days. We'll get back to our morning time routine and morning journals and math and things like that. And I'll probably wait until next week to bring in our next unit study. So I just need to get organized this afternoon, as well as finish taking down some Christmas things and get our regular decor back up. The house is really bare right now, which feels refreshing, but I need to get, you know, our regular things out now that I've taken down all the Christmas stuff. So that's going to be what I do today. But I really wanted to give this little update. I know that some of you have been wondering where I've been at. I've even gotten some messages just checking in, which I really appreciate. But it's been a hard winter for a lot of people, And I just pray that if you've had a hard time, I hope and pray that you have support, and that you have people around that you can reach out to. You know, if you don't, please send me a message. I'd be happy to pray for you. But I'm really, you know, hoping that the winter is a good one. And yeah, so that's it. That's all for now. And I will be getting back into the filming routine here this week. I plan on continuing with a lot of homesteading content as we head into spring. I'm going to be so busy with seed starting and getting the garden ready. I can't wait. I already have the itch for the garden. I have my catalog, my seed catalog that I've been purposely waiting to look at until after Christmas. So it's on my night table right now, and I plan to look at that within the next couple days. All right. So editing me again. That's it. That's the update. I wanted to just come on here this way because of the glitch in the audio, and thank you for being here. And if you haven't already, look, can you see he's got chocolate? He's been eating one of his chocolate Santas from his stocking. Anyway, if you haven't already, click subscribe. And yeah, I'm going to be putting out so many fun things the next little bit: homesteading, homeschool, gardening, all that fun stuff. So stick around if that's what you're into. And again, thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.